This is not going to be some kind of rant about social media or screen time.
Or thank you, as we say in English. Okay, wait.
In fact, I understand as much as anybody that the world that we live in means that we are going to have some time online. I post videos, I respond to comments. Thank you for leaving all your comments, by the way. It means so much to me. And just completely quitting makes no sense. This is what I found when I stepped away from AI, social media, screens, and was much more intentional about their use. I became very aware of needing to step away because I found that it was the thing that I was going to when I had the least willpower, when I felt the least good. So I was going to social media and using more screens when I felt terrible. Maybe when I was getting a migraine or in a migraine. And also I would go to it when end of the day, when I had no energy left. And what I found was happening was that it would just suck me in, because these spaces are designed to keep us on the platform for as long as possible. So at first it would seem enjoyable, and then it would get to this point that like 3 hours had gone by, and then I didn't feel good at all anymore, and the things that I was viewing were not great at all anymore. So AI has come on the scene. That's a newer thing. Social media has changed a lot in the last 5 years, so there's been this change from being able to follow particular content and people, and now it's more like there's the For You page, and the algorithms decide what we're going to see, and they put in front of us the most rage-baity, clickbaity, shock and awe kind of things. And because social media has changed so much and the intentions of the platform has changed not for the better, I decided it was time to step away. The thing that I found screens were doing is that they really narrow my focus. They make my eyes feel gross, and I'm not taking in the full environment that I'm in. They also tend to be something that I would do when I was bored or actually annoyed or angry. And if somebody else was ignoring me, I would pull out my phone and ignore them. And it was just this kind of terrible spiral. One of the tools that I use with my students is orienting to regulate our nervous system. So you just look around your room and you take it all in, and you see how this affects your sense of safety and your ability to feel at ease and calm in your environment. And every time I do that exercise with my students, I notice that either I feel relieved and calm and in a good space in my environment because I've taken the time to tidy up my space. And it's free of visual clutter, and it just leaves me feeling centered and so much more relaxed. And what I've discovered over the course of this month is that my digital environment is an environment as well. And it can be nourishing. There are some things that I love online, like watching instructional videos on YouTube, like how to knit or how to sew, or even other vlogs I really love, like long form content. And then there are some things on social media and online that aren't nourishing, that are sucking my energy, taking away my time. And so it was there that I created this kind of boundary to decide, okay, I get to choose how I'm going to step into this space. Am I going to step into spaces that are designed to keep me here and are designed to take all my time? Or am I going to step into spaces that are nourishing, like I do in my real life, in the real environment that I create? Speaking of environments, welcome to my kitchen. One of the biggest things that changed for me over the course of the last 30 days was my relationship to cooking. So I used to use online videos all the time, and because I was a lot more conscious about my relationship to screen time and how it felt, did it feel nourishing or was it making me tense and anxious? I noticed immediately that the pop-ups on my cooking videos, which are cooking blogs, pages, they were just so incredibly irritating. And there would be so many pop-ups that I couldn't even get to the recipe. So because my intention was to really be noticing how I was with screen time and how it affected my body, I decided to go back to recipe books. And the recipe books have just been fantastic because they're full of these pictures that, well, this book has them in gloss, but they're full of beautiful pictures and they're on a paper which is not backlit. So it's not a screen and there are no pop-ups. And then the next thing that happened with me in terms of my relationship to cooking, here's a beautiful cookbook, right? Look at these matte photos. I find them just so calming without that glossiness, without the backlit of the screen. So I had a couple of cookbooks, but I didn't have many cookbooks, and the way I eat has changed a lot over the years since I use cookbooks. So the next thing that happened is that I started going to the library again. And at the library, there are so many great cookbooks that you can take out. And these are just from going and really looking through the stacks in the library and choosing out something that appeals to me. And then I was trying different recipes too. And speaking of nourishing ways that I use social media or technology, one of the things that I do is I meet up with one of my sisters once a week. We cook a meal together. We catch up and we usually try cooking something new, so it's more creative as well. And this has just really been feeding my soul. When I'm at the library, I find that I'm checking out other books too. I'm looking for books on crochet and knitting and sewing and other creative endeavors. And when I'm walking through the stacks in the library, I will discover different things. So yesterday I was walking through the library and sometimes they have books that are out kind of on display like a bookstore. It's super cute and it makes it cozy and awesome and it's so inspiring. And yesterday this book was right there looking at me and it kept haunting me. It's called The Way of the Fearless Writer. And one of the things that I've been wanting to get back into but don't have enough time for is writing. I write a lot during the week. I write yoga classes, I write Dharma talks, I write tons of emails. I do so much writing, but I want my writing to be more creative. I used to write poetry. I have this idea that because AI has come in, that our human experience is more important than ever. I've gone to a few writing workshops and yeah, I just really feel that AI cannot replace our human experience. And if we can touch in with our human experience, record them, nobody can explain how we're feeling during something. This just feels like something that's super important to me. So what I thought we would do today is cook together because it's so fun. I thought we would make this spicy Korean chicken rice bowls. Doesn't that look good? This is from the cookbook Donna Hay, Too Easy. And you can screenshot that if you want, but you can probably get it at your library too. There's so many recipes in this book that are easy to cook. And I've had so much fun making them. And one thing about me is that I love Korean food. So you could probably do this vegetarian if you want it. Instead of the chicken thighs, which it calls for, you could do tofu. And I think it would be fantastic. So let's cook this together, and then I'll tell you more about what I discovered over the course of this month of quitting social media. And it also reminds me of something that I've learned over the course of this month. What happened when I quit social media was that connecting with other people who were doing the same thing, like in our membership community, because we were holding this 30-day challenge, was so supportive of me because I learned things from them as well. And one thing that really stands out to me, our membership manager had talked about, and she said just before she would go to AI and get that immediate answer, because it's like that quick fix, right? And we get an answer and then we feel like we've solved the problem. We haven't necessarily integrated it. But it gives us this false sense of security, or like we know the answer, like we have it under control. But what she said that she does is before she goes to AI for the answer now, she just pauses because she knows that she knows the answer inside. And I thought that was so brilliant. I loved it so much because it's so true. We have all the answers within us, and if we're patient, it goes at a different speed. It doesn't go at the speed of technology. It goes at the speed of our body, at the speed of nature. And when I can just slow down enough and feel into my body and pause and just ask myself what the answers that I want to know, it's much more regulating, and it's just creates more confidence too that I do have the answers within and I don't always have to run to AI for the answers. One of the things that I really love about these recipes in this book, all the ones that I've tried, my sister and I are gonna make pad thai together from this recipe book. I've tried it out, it's pretty good. I would make a few changes to it maybe, but one of the things that I've really noticed about it is that these recipes come together so quickly. So I got that sauce ready and I put it in here with the chicken, and now I'm gonna put it in the fridge to marinate for 30 minutes. We have the world's smallest fridge. One of the biggest things that I noticed quitting social media did was it almost immediately meant that my creativity shot up. And in fact, what I found myself doing at first was replacing Instagram with Pinterest. And it was like, it felt like a good swap. But then I noticed I was just doing the same thing on Pinterest. I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I was pinning all these pins, and then I was starting to get anxious because I wasn't actually doing anything that I was pinning. And so I ended up giving up Pinterest too. And it really freed me up to be able to connect to my own creativity. So I've been feeling super inspired to start sewing again. I've been watching sewing vlogs while I knit. And I'm really excited about creating my own wardrobe. Now, this isn't gonna be something that's happening until down the line a bit because I don't really have space for it right now. But I can feel those wheels turning on something that I would have just said I don't have time for. I love spending my evenings once I'm done on my work, knitting. I just sit and knit. Sometimes I do it without any screens. Most of the time I have like a vlog or something on with it while I'm doing it. Lots of times I listen to audiobooks, but just again, I'm knitting a sweater right now, and it feels so good to be creating something for my own me-made wardrobe. So this month of social media detox, what I've noticed, another thing that I've noticed is that when I come into the kitchen, my default used to be to turn on a podcast or to get an audio book. And what I found is that now I check in to see where I'm at on a stimulation level. And it could be really common for me to overstimulate myself with media. So now I just check in and I see, and like today, I know I don't want to listen to anything because I've got enough going on and I don't need extra stimulation. And so what I do is I cook in silence a lot of the time, but it's just that simple check-in to see where I'm at for any given day, to see, am I already feeling overstimulated? And yes, if I am, then I'm not gonna turn on a podcast or an audiobook. Another thing that I felt a lot of inspiration around again is poetry. And I have enjoyed having the swap out from scrolling to reading poetry. So one thing, because we have the world's smallest fridge, we have to go shopping often, and we're super lucky because we live downtown Victoria and we can walk to our grocery store, which I love. But it also means, like, because we're carrying it back, we don't get a lot at a time. So I had to like sub out this recipe. Instead of, I think it calls for, well, I think we do have kimchi, but it calls for cabbage, thinly sliced. So there's no cabbage, but I did have some Swiss chard, and I cut up the stems and the Swiss chard, and I also had some yellow pepper. And so I cut that up for this. And it's just that time of year though, isn't it? Where everything, the produce is starting to get yucky again. Like we're going into winter here, and oh, we were just so spoiled all summer long and even in the autumn, and now the produce is just starting to get a little bit meh again. But I don't want you to think that it was a panacea, because it wasn't. It wasn't all good. In fact, it brought me in touch with a lot of my own discomfort. So emotions that I would have normally numbed out by scrolling and distracting myself, and actually just getting really comfortable with a state of overwhelm and overstimulation, like that being the only emotion that I felt comfortable feeling. When I let go of social media this past month, what I noticed is that a lot of things came up. A lot of emotions came up. It asked me to look at my relationships and what was happening there. And in particular, one of the things that changed because of this was my relationship with my husband. So I actually found myself leaning on him more for emotional support. So instead of covering up my emotions and just kind of retreating into myself, because there wasn't something to numb out with, they would come up more, and then I was upset, and it was confronting. It was just really confronting and challenging emotionally. And I would reach out for help from my husband more, to talk to him about what I was going through. And then also the other thing that came up for me, because I was the one that had quit social media, was an irritation with other people using their screens or phones in my time. In particular, in the mornings when my husband and I go for a walk together. We would just find I would find that I would be getting super irritated with him because every time he got a notification, he would pull out his phone. And so our walks in the morning, which should have been this thing which was beautiful, engaging in nature. Having time together was just me getting more and more irritated because of his being distracted by his social media. So we ended up this one day when we were out walking having a huge fight. And I will just let you know that we recreated it as a video for fun, but this is a dramatic recreation. And it was actually a lot more emotionally draining and there was nothing physical about it. But we had kind of fun recording this little sequence of us fighting.
That was a good one.
So we had this long fight, and this is the other thing, like when I'm not going to AI for the answers, but I'm actually working it out in my real life, it takes longer. This fight took a whole morning. It meant we didn't get to our filming that day. We were outside, it was embarrassing, it felt awful, other people were going by. But eventually we kind of worked to the root cause of what was bothering me on these walks, because it was just basically, it was everything at first. And I couldn't really sort out my emotions because I just didn't have that much experience with sorting out my emotions. I'm more used to numbing them or just retreating. So anyway, once we got to the root of it, my husband said, well, I can put my phone on Do Not Disturb when we go on our walks. And so now he does. And it's been such a great thing because now when we're walking together and we're paying attention to each other, and our intention is with what we want to be doing, which is going on a walk in nature, spending time together, talking about our day. And so although this took a lot of discomfort to come through, we got to a place that is a lot better. But I don't want you to think that this whole month has been a panacea. Okay, because Swiss chard is not going to taste as good as cabbage shaved. I'm gonna just zhuzh it up a little bit with some soy sauce. Just a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of rice vinegar, and because the Swiss chard is gonna be bitter, I'll put a little bit of maple syrup in it because I'm Canadian and you need to add maple syrup to everything. Okay, here it is, the finished product. Let's give it a try. That chicken is really tender and spicy. Like, not burn your mouth spicy, but has a good flavor. So thank you so much for hanging out with me and making my dinner with me today and sharing my experience of what it's like to do a digital detox. Let me know if you're doing one or if you've done one or what kind of boundaries you put around social media and how that's been for you, or if you feel inspired to. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And also thank you all so much for your feedback on the last vlog. I had so much fun making it and I had so much fun making this one. It's just so much fun to film and edit my own vlogs, and I'm super enjoying it, and I'm glad you're enjoying it too. So if you like these vlogs, then be sure to subscribe and like the video, and leave your comments. Let me know about your social media detox, and I will see you next time.